this year, well, one tree needs to really be cut back, but one is just low, and the cherry tree is got lots of cherries.
My cherry or pink?
My cherry.
Yeah.
Really? That's awesome.
Oh, are they ever gonna get a little sugar in them?
Neighbor down in our house.
Yum.
Had a big old tree that I could climb in that thing. Man, you could smell it.
Mhm.
Big up by it, try to smell it. Oh, I got smoke. I bet that's forever.
Alberta pie.
Okay. I'll hold you to that.
They're Montmorency cherries or pie cherries.
Do you make them?
Yeah.
The pies? Press from scratch?
No.
Pillsbury?
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. Anything else, Tom? I was checking this out.
What? Pie is good for you. Yeah. Pillsbury pie crust. Some crust. Easy breezy.
Light us up.
I'm not that fancy. I just lay it on. You're gonna eat it anyway. Yeah. She said, yeah, I'll bake one Make that trash shirt.
You know what?
I won't drop down.
Really, these clocks.
Yeah, straight on. Trash.
3 o'clock, on the Chesapeake Extension meeting to order. Okay, first thing, approval of our, May 1st, 2024 minutes. Everybody had a chance to read them? So moved. Motion by Mr. Kruger, second by Sharon. Motion carried. Public comment, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries, aye. Public comment. Limit of 3 minutes per person with a maximum public comment of 3 minutes on agenda items only. Public comment? Public comment? Public comment? Public comment is closed. Discussion possible motion. Rusk County retroactive youth program report. On the report, current year budget, and how the county travel.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Rich.
We're doing. You may need that before we get out of here tonight.
Yeah.
Huh?
Sometimes you're fine here.
Oh, you want me to be?
Wherever you want to be.
How do you do Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, it's like walking on a sponge. Has anybody seen any mosquitoes this year? What?
They're like geese.
Oh my gosh.
Dragonflies are like
You think so? You know, it's funny, way off subject, but I've got dozens of swallow nests that are in the house. So within the dooryard of the house, we don't have a lot of mosquitoes. You get a little bit out of that dooryard away from one of those swallows that were working, they're all, so they're doing it. Anyway, moving right along. Teen court, we're gonna read the report, but basically, I'm 2 cases ahead of where we were last year. On the show. So, I didn't hit this point last year until the 25th of July, so picking up a little bit. I'm a little surprised, you know, with spring and graduation, of course, not everything, summer isn't over yet, but I haven't run into any underage alcohol this spring. Last year, I think I ran into like 5 or 6 underage alcohol, you know, right off the bat. The year before I had 11, because there was a big, you know, some of these kids that are doing their graduation party and build a big bonfire out in the middle of a field and then wonder why the sheriff's department shows up. So, Anyway, moving right along, but,
They're waiting on what?
They're getting
right, so,
smarter.
you know, you could send out a notice, an email to the sheriff department, yeah, but, you know, that always worked for us. I've got on the list 2 active teen court cases, that's not quite active, I picked up, another one, so we've got one going on. Out of my 3 that completed all the sanction last month, one of the young men is remaining on as a volunteer until college starts in the fall, so he leaves his college, so that was pretty encouraging. Teen traffic, gonna be held on June 20th. That's not the usual date I hold it, but, that was the date I had volunteers and I had to work out, didn't work out when the, senior youth center was gonna be available, so it was a little bit challenging. My volunteers, that I normally use on, teen traffic, I've got an adult member of the community that comes, and normally I hold them on Tuesday, but she plays golf on every Tuesday. But, if the rain keeps up, we may not be playing golf. Yeah. 3 scheduled for intake court in May, one was a no-show, 2 others scheduled for teen traffic on the 20th. We got one that is completing all the sanctions and one, that did complete all the sanctions, so we're progressing on that aspect. Talked to Mr. Rusk, the assistant DA, he anticipates, some additional info referrals coming up on. So I would imagine I will see more referrals coming into the fall as things progress there. On the good news and the highly excited part, my filling in as a drug court coordinator for a few weeks that started in April of 2023 is soon coming to the end, and by next Monday, we will have a new drug court coordinator, I hope. But it's been a long few weeks. So that's pretty much what I have, nothing real exciting. Vaping is, seems to be the violation of the preference of the young people. I've had more vaping cases than I've ever had. Yeah, so, are you finding that you're referring more, running into more in the schools, or?
That's pretty much mostly what we have.
Okay.
Is vaping problems. There was a really good article that came out in School Board magazine.
Okay.
About vaping and how to deal with it, and see if there's a way to get around, just write a ticket, kick them on school. It's just a huge problem.
Does that actually work?
I don't know, is it gonna work?
What was the?
Vaping, trying to get a handle on vaping.
Yeah, I just wrote a note here that that's part of our discussion, our desired discussion with the new superintendent.
Yeah.
Is, you know, what can we do from a human services standpoint, and then obviously with all the other ancillary programs, is, you know, how can we be proactive with that?
Yeah, it's, I
Okay.
don't know, I've kind of changed from just, you know, giving time off to maybe do something different this time off, just frequent flyers all the time.
You know, what you can do without going through law enforcement, you can do it directly from a team if you want. And I can give you the forms for that, and instead of going through law enforcement, court, they can direct.
Yeah, maybe you could do that with, I'll share it with the new super.
Okay.
We'll probably come and see you too, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think we'd like to have the conversation with across the board spectrum.
Well, with the admin team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with, Jeremy, Ms. McKenna, does the escape and bait program, so we incorporate that in the trade court, then they have to come back for several teen court and then write a paper
Yeah.
on the health issue. Does anything work 100% of the time?
No.
Of course not, but it does have an effect on some, so.
One of the, I don't know, drought, since meeting up, years ago, when I was on the school board, back then, we had a case of, we had an expulsion for, weed, and the young girl sitting there. Somebody asked where she got it. She got it from home.
Yeah.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
And that's.
And And you know-
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you well know that 99% of the problems that you run into are home problems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's great in school.
yeah, so, you know, that's the issue.
I know, Rich, in the past,
Severe
past
weather, I believe.
The what?
Severe weather.
Yeah, I thought we had a
Oh.
severe thunderstorm watch out a little bit ago.
And I know in past meetings, Rich, you had expressed a concern about, how these people, whoever it is, that are selling these vape pens or whatever, they're introducing fentanyl into them. To get the kids hooked. Are we noticing a lot of that here in Langston?
I have not seen any of that in Rusk County, to my best of my knowledge, it hasn't been. But I get that report, and I can't remember where I get it from. But it has showed up in, Clark County, and then Madison and Milwaukee Shaw. Walworth County, I still have dealings with people on Walworth County that I use, that, one of the issues is, and one thing I say to every one of these kids that come into Teen Court on vaping is, well, obviously you didn't go to Walmart and buy it, they're not selling it. So where'd you get it? Well, I got it from a friend, or I got it, in some cases, well, I got it from my mom and dad, or something. But when they got it from a friend, I said, well, what was in it? Well, nicotine. Are you sure? Well, they said it was. They're a friend, so they wouldn't lie to me, and.
Of course not.
No, and some of the issues in the past year with the drug court, a couple of people in the past who have tested positive, they swear up and down, they did not use any drugs, but they used somebody else's paper. Was enough in there to have that.
So when they test, I mean, they can actually then detect.
Oh, sure.
That
Sure,
drug in their system.
well, when we do a drug test, and what we're doing is mouse swab, it's so much more efficient, so much easier, you don't have to think about the test or anything like that nature. So that, the mouse swabs are clean and neat, because our just puts it in the mouth. Puts it to get sealed, I send it in to forensic fluid. It takes a day to get their forensic fluid, they only test it the day they get it, only within the second day or the third day at the most, I get email and test results. So it's really a quick, efficient way of doing the drug. So we're pretty impressed with that going forward. So, and that's one of the things we're putting in on paper and system. That's pretty much all I have as far as the youth program, but I'll reach out to you too, and email you a couple of directors for open on meeting.
Any other questions? Guess we're good on this one.
I'll start off with the drug court one as much as I can anyway.
Recovery court report,
Yeah.
recovery report, current year budget, Malata County travel.
Doing good, no out of college travel, but the two applicants that we had, that you and I talked about, the one didn't meet the minimum qualifications by the CAG grant, because it has to be a high risk ID, an individual beneath that, and unfortunately, the second individual, who would have been a perfect candidate for drug court, got sentenced to 4 years in prison, so, that application was withdrawn by the public defender's office. We still only have the one participant at this point. Probation and parole, will be attending our weekly meetings starting next week, she advised, and that's where we got the number of referrals from the past, so we're looking forward to that. Mr. Jacobs and Judge Barna and myself sat down last week and developed kind of a training outline for Angela going forward, so, one of our concerns always was the turnover for drug court coordinators. We had a fairly high turnover rate, and, collectively, we felt that some of the issues were that they perhaps weren't properly trained, and it's a tough job to learn, and it's got a huge learning curve. I've been doing it for a little over a year now, and finally I go, okay, I kinda know what I'm doing. So it does have a significant learning curve, and if we can develop an organized training program, which is what we've worked on, kind of put together, we feel as though that we might Jacobs and Judge Barnes can probably fill us in a little bit more. What we're looking at is going with, because we had that assessment done a couple years ago, we wanna, hopefully accomplish all the things in that assessment. One of the things, getting law enforcement back, getting the training done, reducing the time that, the applicants are in there before the application is approved. Those are all things that we need to work on, and we need to improve going forward. I think we can do that. Mr. Jacobs got a good team attending the meetings now, and I think we're gonna move forward pretty significantly on that. So, we do have the CJCC review, quarterly review of drug court, and that is, Jeremy, what day? Help me out here.
Fourth Thursday of this month.
Fourth Thursday of this month, so, if you guys like to come, that's a pretty detailed quarterly review, that's at 8:00 in the morning.
Here?
Yeah, this one. So, please attend that, and if you have the opportunity, that'll give you a lot more information.
The 27th.
Yeah. But, we'd certainly like any or all of you to come. 800. Oh my God. Right here. Yeah. Jeremy, or Judge, you have anything else on that?
I think just to say that, once Angie gets started, I think things that can really get rolling. I think the other thing that's gonna help is having, a DA and an ADA to screen cases. The communication with that office is they're already gonna be looking at cases that are suitable for drug court, so we should be, getting participants fairly quickly.
One thing we learned from the public defender's office this morning, Barron County actually has a waiting list to get to the drug court. They exceeded their maximum capacity and have a waiting list to get to the drug court. Yeah, so there's the need out there, and hopefully we can fulfill that and move forward. All right, that's all I have on.
No out of county travel for both
Angie, is she gonna be going out of county?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, so one of the first things we wanna do with Angie is send her over to Chippewa County and or Dunn County to work with their criminal justice coordinating person. That's, probably some of the best training that we can do, and Rose Beyer has indicated that she could get her right away. So, I was trying to get her in next week because I'm gone next week, so I won't be able to answer questions. And the sooner we can get her in to see another program, the better.
I'll work on the out of county travel. When I know
That
where
would
we're going.
only involve mileage and lunch maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll bring that back to you once we know.
We don't keep cost or anything.
67 cents a mile in a county car and $13 for lunch. Probably 1 day, maybe 2 days, 5 days, up to 5
Well,
days. We'll get
this
it.
month, 2 maybe.
We're probably talking Chippewa County, a couple days for lunch, type of thing, so.
No,
We'll figure out a sheet.
that's gonna be grant reimbursable, right?
Yeah, but we
Which
still
is-
have to have the
yes,
approval,
yes.
yeah.
I'll
It would be less than $150.
I'll get it
Is that what you
together on
want,
our
is
sheet.
not to exceed $150?
Let's just
I'm
say
just trying to
200.
cover the base, so that way you wouldn't have to be worried about it, so.
We'll just do 200, so it'll be nice. Or if she goes to Dunn too.
Yeah, that's further, that's a good point.
Travel to Make some motion.
If it's more than that,
On the
Mr.
second.
Goddard will bring it down.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good work.
District Attorney report.
Governor still has not appointed the DA. We do not have one of those yet, but we are fully staffed for the time being. We do have ADA, John Granick has started, and, Woody has been, we have prosecutor, and at any point, but it still hasn't been I sent out the numbers to you, there's really nothing unusual or out of the ordinary. All the heavy travelers are.
Thank you. So court report. Monthly report, current year budget, on-county travel, and bail. Okay.
Am I up?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, I think you already sent all of the information. Biggest thing was the, video pages.
So, yeah, bail pages.
So what we're asking for, you have to break down for the counties in this district. We're not asking to be the highest. One of the things that really hit us, was Sawyer County, jumped theirs up to 21. And we actually lost one of our bailiffs because of that. So, you know, we looked at things and 18 is, you know, what Eau Claire done, you know, I traveled to 7 other counties that I've had handled cases in and have had jury trials and I talked to their bailiffs. Most of them are not doing it for the money. A lot of them are retired people who like to be involved. But we are getting feedback here now. I had a jury trial scheduled for tomorrow that settled, but when we called one of our longstanding bailiffs, his response was, are you gonna pay me what Sawyer did? And so, we're not asking for that because we think that we still can get people, but we are pretty low.
So will he not come unless we pay 20? I mean, would he come for 18?
Well, the response was we can't pay you that, so we didn't ask, will he? I think, probably, yeah. I think, and then it's 12, 12.
Didn't you under that 2-hour minimum, that's a bonus that others haven't had. Would we take that off if we raise them?
No, because, you know, what happens is they have to come in, they have to be here when the jurors come in, the jurors have to watch a video, they have to be there with them, so they are here, and even last minute, jurors come in. I just had one in Eau Claire that was supposed to start at 9:35, I went in to call off the jury because, the defendant didn't show up. And so they're here at 8 for those, doing all of this other work, and, I honestly, I think you Eau Claire, but I think that Eau Claire did pay them like 3 hours for that, even though they weren't there for 3 hours, so they don't have it down as paid, but they will when they get called in. And, consider that they gave up their day, and that was a 3-day jury trial, so they lost on that, but, so no, we're still asking for the 2-hour minimum. Very rare in Rusk that the jurors are called in or sent home after, unless it's a mistrial. But, because I don't allow, I do a drop dead plea date, meaning at the final pre-trial, if there is no agreement, then they're gonna proceed to trial on the charges they're charged. To avoid, if it's expensive for county jurors to send out the posting and then to tell them 3 days before that we're not having it, they have to send those out 2 weeks in advance. So, you know, we do things that we can, but I would ask to keep that to one. And we don't have a lot of jury trials that are.
Only 23, no one paid out.
I mean, when you think about this, for 2 hours, it's like $11.
And it's the point of getting the people, because the alternative, if we can't utilize our pool, is we have to go deaf, and we have to put a deputy on there, and it's gonna be overtime because he's short-staffed. So, then it would get really expensive, not to mention we're calling in people who work the night before and slept, and it's just not gonna be good. We talked about ways to Who?
Doug Fisher.
Yeah, well, that's who we always set up first.
Yeah.
Is the, the law enforcement.
I mean, he won't be a cop in a couple of years.
I mean, overall, it's gonna bring us up to some of the other counties, we're still not gonna be the highest, which is understandable. Without any reason.
I think, yeah, it seems like it's a good middle of the road.
I don't know, I have to be honest with you, $200, I wouldn't start looking.
No, I know, I mean, if you're ready, I can.
Well, it's true, I mean.
Well, and I will tell you that the
yeah,
courtroom is known for being very hot and humid, and the conditions sometimes are not very pleasant when you have that many jurors in there too. Eau Claire, I will tell you, just recently went up to there. They were at the same thing we were, and they just recently raised theirs to, was theirs 18 too, I think?
It is now.
Just within the last couple of months.
Done, Claire,
Washburn, they just went up theirs.
So, the other ones are smaller counties, which is.
St. Croix surprised me at their day.
Yeah, that surprises me too.
But sometimes the bigger county have more people that, wanna be involved, and like I said, they're, Eau Claire, the bailiffs are just coming to us.
Well, is there any more questions? Any more questions?
I make a motion that we raise the bailiff wage to $15. Leave it at that to our minimum.
Any motion by Mr. Kudo, second by Mike, to remove the bailiff up to $18 now and do that $2 minimum. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So then it goes to personnel.
I mean, they're not, the data is not in our other stuff, it's not,
I mean, it's not a.
but I can check and let you know.
Okay.
Like me too.
Yeah, that'd be great, just
Okay.
wherever we need to request to be on.
So if it needs to go somewhere else, you'll put it on the internet.
I will, so I don't.
And
need
if that's
to
what you
put
need
it
to,
on the request?
no,
Okay.
no, I'll check on it for you.
Alright.
This is not.
Personnel's tomorrow.
Right, so it's too late to be on that, I mean, we'll make do, whatever, I mean, if it has to stay.
I just don't, I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere.
It may have to.
Okay, if you wanna just let Lori know if it was on something, so wellness can be there, then answer questions. Alright, otherwise, any questions on the budget? I think we're fine. I do wanna just put in kudos for, the clerk's office and their collection. I have asked Lori for historic numbers, just so that you guys can see that since Lori and Brooke have been focusing on collections, they're bringing in a lot of revenue. And really working with state debt collection to intercept taxes or unpaid court costs, and, there's a lot of money hanging out there. And so you really can see the amount of money that they're bringing in, and that's where we get the money for the court system from the state. So if the efforts aren't being made to collect it, then we just don't get it, and we have to ask the county. So they're doing a phenomenal job. Brooke, Clark especially is doing wonderfully, so I will get some numbers for you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 5, extension office business. Uh-oh.
Ah, in trouble. Are you gonna leave again like you did last time?
No, I'm
Like,
not.
I figured-
I sneaked up today.
So tell us good news.
Somebody had a hot.
You did. Are you jealous?
Yep.
So do you want the good, better, or best news?
The best.
Oh, the best, so I'm gonna let you decide which is the good, the better, or the best news. So, I have a few things to share with you. First and foremost, we have hired someone, that might be your best news, or it might be the good news, but I think it's fantastic news, that we hired someone who will begin next week on June 11th, if you've not heard that news, so, Carrie Gutzhausen will be joining us in Extension, and is pretty excited about that. It's a win and a lose for the county, because you lose her as a caseworker in your, HHS group, but you win her as an extension educator, so, good or bad, but, but we are excited to have her join our team, and, she's finishing up there, this week, taking a few days off, recalibrating, and then, will join us, so. So that's news to share with you, okay, good news. Other news from Eileen, she, chose to not be here today because then, just the way the week was, it was gonna be another overnight, and we'll save you money and not have her come to the meeting and pay for another overnight, but she did give me an update for you, so I wanna run through that, just as some things that she's, kind of a summary of the things that she's working on. So, she's working with Leaders Council, working on the bylaws. Bring a Mic Day is, combined with Merry Breakfast, we hope you'll be there, and buy tickets, raffle tickets, right, Charlene and Jess? Yes, there's still tickets available, so, we hope that you will support 4-H that way.
It's
June 15th. 15th.
Saturday.
I know it's a weekend. Okay, so there's that from Eileen. Eileen is also working on livestock, working on the details for project, yeah, that sounds like the street, doesn't it? At first I thought it was something. So details for project and livestock auction, have finished a new brochure for the buyers, continuing to work on auction catalog, and we'll be working on bylaw changes for livestock. Local clubs, starting to review club bylaws and working with club leaders to update roles. Partnering with area libraries to start some programming once Perry's on board, so Hawkins Library summer program, and a photography club, plan for that. And Donna Nucky is, has completed most of the planning for the 4-H camp at Trails End, July 9th through 11th. So I think she's in the process of training camp counselors for that. And the Area 2, which is Barron, Burnett, Rusk, Sawyer, Washburn counties, the group of 4-H educators have developed a summer Cloverbud day camp program and kind of passport, so people can travel between counties if they like and have some other opportunities. There's a big thing with Olympics this year with a lot of the camps that were around before us with 4-H, makes sense. So, so things are moving forward with Eileen State as well. Good, better, or best news for you. The other news is that Rusk County has been selected as an AmeriCorps site again this year. If we are interested in that. I went ahead in the absence of a full-time educator and just submitted the application just in case, to prepare us for the possibility of another AmeriCorps person that can help elevate 4-H programming and, help do some improvement and that kind of thing. So, that's in the hopper, whether or not you all wanna choose to use the money in that way. Last time around, it was paid half by Flambeau Schools, you may remember, those of you who were on this committee, it was kind of a pilot to get started at the Flambeau School and then see about expanding that for other schools or other programs in the county. Bruce School has reached out to me saying, hey, we might be interested in figuring out how we can, do this too. So, I think there's some momentum and, really just kind of waiting for Carrie to get started and then assess what that might look like. There's been some talk among other educators of using an AmeriCorps person to do what's called a chick quest and lots of K-4 priority classes in various schools and just coming in and doing kind of a 6-week program and coming out and doing that versus one school all year long or something. So I think we have some options to explore for that. I think we try to create a little pocket of money to help pay for that for the 2024 budget. The other approved for it, if we wanna do it, we find the money for it, if we decide with the new educator what they would like to utilize that kind of service. So,
Is there a deadline when that has to be decided?
we're in the hopper for it. We can start, advertising for the position. It doesn't start till September, so we have a little bit of time to assess whether or not we really want to move forward. And as you know, the sooner we can advertise for a position and, have someone ready for that, the better. But I wasn't anticipating we need to figure that out today. So yeah, it starts in September and, goes through the school year, basically.
Is Glenville interested in doing it again?
Yeah, they are, and I'm sensitive to that, you know, like we've been there, we piloted it there, you know, we were trying to do ag and classroom support, and, as you may remember from Serenity last month, I think, did, touch points with 87 students, and sent home a lot of information about what's needed for H, and here's how you can join clubs. What I don't know is if anyone from there joined the club yet.
That was gonna be my next
Yeah.
question. How do you track it? So you send people to see payouts, is that?
That we don't know today.
I guess then one
And
question we use to find out the information on that to see whether it's even worth keeping going.
The way the school year, the 4-H enrollment happens in October, I mean, they can enroll at various times, but it kicks off in October, so there's a miss with, like, when that kicked off, when Serenity was in. So we may not see it until this next school year, but. So those are my updates, and you can decide which was good, better or best. It sounds like hiring Carrie was your best information today.
Yeah.
So we're excited for that.
All right, any other questions?
Lori? I am, there is, Charmaine and I have talked about the invoice for the first half of the year. They tell me by the end of the day today, so they have less than an hour, to give you the invoice for the first part of the year. But I really wanted to look at that kind of with a fine tooth comb, making sure you're getting charged for what the service you got versus not. The credit for the first couple months, not having someone, right? And then a 70% position for 3 months, and Carrie coming now. So, it got a little hairy, but, I think we'll have some savings there, and then we can, you know, some of that savings went to paying for travel for Eileen, if you remember, and so there still should be some extra savings as well to either put toward a AmeriCorps position or something. Our budget.
Alrighty. Who's next? Trails and camp business, trustee reports.
I was on vacation last month, so I'm referring to Charmaine.
Well, Ms. Charmaine, what do you got?
All right, we had a meeting on May 21st, so Vice Chair Jimmy Moore, called us to order. And we moved the meeting up to 4:30, that just worked better for everybody, especially since sometimes it's on the same night as county board. So we'll continually be meeting in the small conference room at 4:30, because when we try to meet in here, we get booted out. You're bumped. June 1st was a very great day at camp. The Janet Kelly Memorial Foundation installed the obstacle course. It started off rainy, but lots of volunteers came to help, and most of it got done, and then they just had to finish up on Sunday. So it is in. James has been trained. So groups are going to be, as long as they go through the training, take a mini training from James, we'll be able to use that. Super cool. Then we finally got the permit from DNR for the swinging bridge. Now keep in mind that $15,000 to get it working is a Band-Aid, but James, hopes to get it, operable, for this weekend. This weekend we have, Sheila and Alan Barron's 50th wedding anniversary, and Alan built that bridge, helped build it in 1970s, somewhere in there. So we hope that they may want to reenact. We have a beautiful photo of them on the swinging bridge when they were first married. So we hope they reenact that. So anyway, and our first youth overnight camp came in on Monday, left this afternoon. We are jam-packed all of June. July's getting even busier. So usage is great. Electric was upgraded at all the 5 electric sites, and we were gonna charge $30 per night for those that use the electric sites. But the Board of Trustees questioned that, as they are already paying utilities. These 5 sites do not have separate meters, so it's all thrown in and they're already paying per kilowatt. I don't charge that up front. I wait until the event's done, and then I take that out of their security deposit. So they felt that was double dipping, so wanted to remove that. So you just pay your $500 plus utilities. So they wanted to do that. Bruce Kiwanis is gonna have a Halloween party out at camp sometime, and so they'll be doing a haunted trail, maybe get different organizations to do trick-or-treating out of different cabins, have a bonfire, all that fun stuff, so that'll be neat. The bylaws, we reviewed the bylaw changes from the month prior, and the only changes was adding alternates, and they can be, that the alternates can be voting members. The month before, they wanted the alternates not to be voting, but if you're trying to have an alternate to meet quorum, why can't they vote? So that is later on the agenda. We're gonna talk policies next month, and in the last few years, we've done Picnic Under the Pines, and they chose to do that on September 22nd with a band. So our next meeting is June 18th, 4:30 Small Conference Room. Any questions on that?
It's gonna be a Sunday?
Yes, that's what we've typically done, is Sundays. And we're hoping to possibly have a Packer party and have it streamed there, courtesy of Bruce Tell, but we haven't worked that out yet, so.
That would be in conjunction with it.
Yes, yes, cause not everybody, we've had Picnic Under the Pines during Packers, but if we can work it out and do it all, then probably those that wanna watch Packers can, those that wanna listen to a band, those that wanna hike the trails, just more for people to do that day.
We lost a lot of people that day, that's over the
Yeah.
So, what is that, what is the time on that? Or is it?
I don't know that we've set it yet. We usually have lunch. I think we start Chris Cold maybe at 11 in the morning. It's throughout the day. You don't have to be there the whole time. You just come for whatever part you want. So yeah.
More to come later on that.
Yes. We had to decide a date because, we hardly have any weekends open. So I'm like, if you guys wanna do it, you better pick a date. So that's what the group decided, September 22nd. So that's all I have on that.
Caretaker coordinator report?
That was kinda all in there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So here are the bylaws. The red is the only, I didn't even look to see if it's on. So each representative would have an alternate. So right now, if we have, a rep, I bring it to this committee and you approve them. We do struggle with quorum, so this would help out. We have had people come in lieu of their person, and they've not voted, and it's been beneficial. So it just helps, cause the reps are pretty much the users, so it does work out. But we did not feel that was appropriate for public citizen though, so all your typical reps, would have alternates. That is the only change made to the bylaws at this time. So if you're okay with that, I would need approval for that.
Any questions on approve it. So,
Motion to approve the trails and camp bylaws.
Motion by Lois. Tom Cool will second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Maybe same side. Motion carries. Number 7, new business. Railroad report on current year budget.
Upgrading buildings, or as we've done, painting both the watering hole, the truck wagon, we've cleaned everything, we've done the floor, epoxied, put up walls of the watering hole, chipboard, we stained and polished those and painted all the posts that didn't get work on it, so, looks super nice. And some, what we brought in today, so we have some cooling, we have some refrigeration now, 3 pieces came today, a little bit more before the fair, there'll be more items, but 1 2-door and then 2 single doors. Very good. Commercial unit, so very nice. That was kind of a surprise, I wasn't expecting them quite this early, but that's okay. Still working on our flagpole project, not sure exactly, I don't have a lot of update on that, besides it's been proven we can do it, but, we have our location, but we don't have details, so we'll start working on that. Cement was poured today for the east wing, if you haven't heard that or haven't seen it, it's super exciting, so, just wrap. And it rained, so that's okay.
I'm sure we covered it.
Fairs to the Fair competition, we had that a couple weeks ago. Isabel Medador, if you haven't heard, is our Fairs to the Fair this year, and Chloe Lee is our first princess. Really wonderful. They are attending their first parade this weekend on behalf of the fair down in Sheldon. It's gonna be great representatives of the fair, good young ladies. And our ATV fair is Saturday. Blue Hills, ride starts at 10. You guys will come, if you want to ride, we'll have a meal. 2:30, 3 o'clock, when they get back, they'll ride from about 10 until 2:30. Doing a different route this year. George Shishman is leading it, same as last year, and some of the other people with their group. But we are going through, they're gonna go through Weyerhaeuser, so they're gonna get some suggestions for some stops from people who are trying to accommodate. Next year, it'll be exciting because they're gonna have a new trail in with a new bridge that's not in this year yet, so he was gonna go that way and go up to the river where the bridge is going, but then he just back out. But we encouraged him to try a different route this year, then we can, really push that next year for not only for us but also for the trails, because it's beautiful up there. We've never been this, everyone should be like this gorgeous, so we'll have raffles, or we have 2 raffles going on, and we'll have those drawings Saturday also at 3. So, yeah, we're just continuing to plug away, get this fair planned. Questions?
Any questions?
so, as far as the east wing on the barn, so the next part is the construction phase, and once the cement cures,
Yes.
we'll start putting up the,
It'll be pretty quick.
yeah.
It's lucky for us, the contractor has his other job as contractors do, he has a bigger crew, multiple crews, and so he's working on a project, he has to get to another project, but it's too wet, because we've had too much rain, so it's working to our advantage, he can't get to that project. So, I do not.
No. fireworks used to, what, they would do any work?
We won't have any statement here.
Fair contract. Is that it?
That's it. None at this time.
No contracts.
No contract?
Nope.
Okay, fair board business.
Well, I think Jess pretty much touched on all of the wonderful things happening out there, so,
There's a report, pretty much took care of that.
yep.
There's you speak.
Last month you mentioned that you wanted to talk about it, so it's on the agenda, I will pull up. So right now you have two different sets of rates. You have the nonprofit income producing and then the other groups. So example, the circus, they're coming actually, I think, next week. You know, that would be, in the other groups. And then the others. So those are your rates. I know Ashley Heath said she would be willing to help, you know, look at, you know, giving suggestions on what we should change things to. Wasn't sure where you wanted to go with that. We do charge groups to use the fairgrounds, but only the ones that don't, pertain to youth, so. We have lots of usage out there, but a lot of it is not paid usage because it's for kids. And that's something this committee chose to do. So like when the 4-H horse project's out there, you know, or 4-H clubs, they have not been charged, youth groups. So, that of course is not written on here, but that's what you've done, at least since I've been in extension since 2007, so. So do you have any opinions? Do you have any guidance? Talk to Ashley and put it on next month's agenda. Are you looking at changing it this year? Do you wanna wait till next year?
I think it's too late
And usually when we change rates, it's for the future years.
Future? Next year, but no, actually here, I don't have anything really thrown out either. No idea. Somebody else does.
Okay, I have to ask a really dumb question. What do the numbers represent behind the buildings? That's the building number.
Yeah,
Oh,
so if you look at the fairgrounds map, cause usually this accompanies the fairgrounds map, it tells you what buildings there are.
Building 20 or what's that?
Gotcha.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, I can tell you, we can just use the last wedding, as an example. They came in, Thursday, left Friday at midnight, paid, for 1.5 days, cause setup is half price. And there was a lot of maintenance, involved in that. Typically, we don't have weddings this early, and so none of the stuff had been, moved out of multi-purpose, so we don't have enough room to store things, and so, it's musical equipment, and bleachers and chairs and whatever we have, there's just not enough room, to put things, so, and they've been without a skid steer, so then they had to rent a skid steer and to move everything out of there. So any profit you made just kinda went out the door just in staff time. You know, and then it's one thing to use a building, but then do they need tables and do they need chairs and all of the other things associated with that, you know, that was just this one wedding. Some events.
What's the average that you kind of see?
Average,
Like any wedding, I mean, was this wedding exceptionally different, or was this event, even in events, what do you kind of see on what they use, or rent, or need? I know it's
I would
probably
say
hard
this
to
one
know.
was more just because they hadn't moved the stuff out of the building yet. So, but, you know, the equipment use, you have to factor in that time. You know, they have to unlock the dumping station, you know. I mean, there's my time giving tours, checking out keys. There is more that's involved, you know, other than, yes, your usage is approved. So you may wanna keep that in mind, that it can, some of these events can be labor intensive. You know, now, you know, future, and especially if they don't clean or whatever. But this one was a little challenging in that, they used another building more than we were expecting. So it kind of threw things, off kilter a bit. So it was just unexpected.
So are you kind of leaning toward maybe that we need to raise?
Yes.
That's what I'm kind of.
How many events are they booking out?
I have one wedding already for 2025.
So your rates would have to stick with that particular wedding?
I did tell them that, you know, you book in advance, just like Trails End. I said, if you know, we can reserve your rates, but until that annual meeting where they set the fees, you know, you'll pay the fees.
Subject to change.
Yes, yes.
Oh, so they understand that then?
Yes, mm-hmm.
As long as we use that phrase.
Yeah, that is the only usage I have for 2025, and that's just because it's a wedding, so.
So those things have to be moved back into the building, you know, so that. they
Yes,
have to be
in the
moved out.
winter, but now this fall, we have 2 late weddings. The first 2 weekends in October, so let's hope, you know, the weather cooperates. We'll possibly have to put heaters in the bathrooms, cause water will need to stay on. You have more porta potty use until we get north bathrooms, you know, there's more costs associated. We do not charge utilities, for the fairgrounds. We do for Trails End, but there's, I think, 18 different meters out at the fairgrounds. It would be very challenging to get meter readings. So there's a lot of electric getting pulled. We just, they just had B&B out there to put more breakers or something, cause the roasters, when they cook them, they keep tripping. So there's that. If they have a band, there's a lot of electric use. You know, once we get a new sound system, I'm sure people are gonna wanna use our sound system.
Is it a suggestion to make the rates different during season and off season? Because of first wedding in or first event in, you're having 2. And then after, should be time to cut off water, you have to keep it on. Is that something? You haven't seen an increase that?
No, that's something I've never thought of, you know, cause typically we turn the water on May, or it's on May through October 1st, weather dependent. But, you know, people wanna get married in the fall, I get it, but, it's riskier, it's, you know, it's our facility, so. Well, it's risky for them too, you know, so.
So are you,
So anyway,
so are you saying, like, do we wanna raise it on both sides or just?
yeah, and I'm not sure that, this was done, when I started in 2007, these have been changed like maybe 2 or 3 times. But it's vastly different between nonprofit income producing groups and other groups. Do you wanna keep their 2 rates? All of the usage is still happening, all you're doing is giving nonprofits a break. But keep in mind, there's hardly any groups that we charge to use the fairgrounds, because most of the fairgrounds usage involves youth. So, are you looking to break even? You'll never break even. The amount of work that takes to maintain that, fairgrounds, but, you're, in some respects, giving it away, you know, when you factor in maintenance. Even the equipment usage, I know you guys have talked about this, we let people randomly, and there's several, to get approved today, borrow our picnic tables, chairs, no cost, that's maintenance's time, arranging all of that. Yes, so, when you talk about fairgrounds rates, you should look at the rates, but you also should think of equipment rental too.
Since I've been on this committee, fair board, fair in general, it's always just broke even. Somebody takes everything, or it would be nice to see a penny here and there in profit.
Break even, or it doesn't break even,
It will never break even,
we
it will never,
say it broke even, just to balance out the year.
So, I mean, I guess
Well, I mean, people zero stuff out all the time, I mean, just to start from scratch, but, I mean, how big a hole is it, does anybody know?
well, yes, you could look on the Z drive in the current, last year's budget, the fairgrounds budget is always vastly over. We had a lot of hiccups, last year, but what bails it out is the courthouse, any mowing that they do at the beginning of the future year, they bill all the departments, and that supplements the courthouse budget, which bails out any maintenance budget, but, just the mowing out there, the utilities is insane, and it's, and then you have, like Little League, ice skating, all of that. It's great as a taxpayer to be able to use a facility, but there's a lot of costs associated. You have tons of buildings out there, big property, big expense. So, I could tell you, and I can look it up too, how in the hole we were last year, but they've already spent a lot of time.
That'd be an interesting number,
Yes, yeah,
see what you can do about that.
yeah, but not everybody uses all the buildings out there, so, I don't know that you're gonna, but if you just factored in the maintenance time, you're not making any money renting these buildings out.
How long have we been at these rates? How many years?
I think we just changed them for this year.
Did we change them last year?
Cause, last year we got the concrete, right? So, it's this year, yeah.
That's what I thought.
Prior to that, you had not changed them every time. But anyway, if you have any ideas, we can talk about this next month. We do have time, but I think.
So then, like, on the other groups, the daily rate, so is 1,000 out of line for a daily rate, or?
Well, right now, for $1,000, you can book the entire fairgrounds.
Place.
Yeah.
Or if you're a non-income producing group, you could get it for 500.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is that just like the multi-purpose building, for example, would that be too much of an increase?
I don't know, but,
I mean, I'm just kinda
Ashley's willing to do some digging and getting numbers.
Looked at some other fairs, or
Yeah,
fair,
so,
get some numbers from them to see.
Or just ask them what some of the things they do that we might pick up on.
Yeah, so,
Like, I mean, now, so we've just done a lot of improvement on the chuck wagon and the watering hole too, so it seems to me that $1.50 a day is kinda low for that.
150.
I'm sorry, at
Yeah.
150.
Right, exactly, and that's why it went, I think, from 300 to 500 in, the multi-purpose building. It's just,
Yeah.
weddings are labor intensive typically,
Well, and
But
that's
yes.
$500 a day for that nicely put together building now?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're never gonna
especially-
see- You're never gonna see a return on that at that kind of.
yeah, cause then you're gonna get a brand new sound system in there too, so.
We're definitely never gonna see daylight on
Yeah.
it.
On the
Anyway,
wedding barn, you get $4,000 a pop.
Right, so there's no reason why
So,
we look at that.
I'll have Ashley pull some numbers and bring it back.
Yes, please.
Do you wanna keep two different rates, or do you just wanna have one rate? That would be helpful, or should we just ask other counties what they do?
I think.
That would be a good idea, I think,
would be to ask other counties, but in my opinion, it's just my opinion, it's easier to start across the board for everybody.
Okay, alright, so,
I guess I would.
I think charging for the things that people borrow would be an excellent thing to do.
I agree with that as
We
well.
just wear them out and then we're replacing them and there's no income from them.
Okay.
Bring us back some numbers.
So usage agreements.
This first one, what is that, growing? What is
Oh, yes, it's a senior program, it's happening tomorrow, actually.
What's the second word though, growing?
I'm trying to pull mine up here.
Lenny?
Oh, connections,
Oh,
growing connections.
Okay.
Senior like planting, things like that, they're just using the JLO pavilion, and actually they're gonna, plant the planter in front of the ticket booth, so that'll be nice. And the picnic tables are already in there,
Okay.
so that's what that first one is. Oh, there we go, pull it up. Rusk County Dairy Day is happening June 8th, so that will be in Dairy Barn. Cheryl Bertina, 6 picnic tables, so this is the day or the weekend of the dairy breakfast, but, we should be fine running out 6 picnic tables, cause we have a lot of picnic tables out there. And a lot of people eat inside the tin building. Andrea Hay, I'll say, wants some chairs, plastic tables, end of June. The horse project has now another day that is, they have somebody coming, to do some work with them, and that's in end of July. Tractor safety is coming back, we haven't had it in a few years. Typically that's in June, but, between the two FFA instructors, they're gonna make it happen, July 15th through July 18th. So they'll do the education in the senior youth building, and then they'll have the central area where they learn how to drive, backup trailers and tractors, all that stuff. So they may use our trailers for that. And then Wayne Stoll is here, for the Dweebs, a fundraiser for the Ladysmith Fire Department, August 24th. And then I'll just get through the end, and then the final one is, Extreme Rusk County Bowls, Barrels, and Band event. This is a 2025. I would ask, since there's waivers involved with the last two, that you, if you make a decision that you do it separately from the others, waivers. So, do you wanna hear, do you want to just deal with the,
We can look back here.
okay?
Okay, first agreement is the going connection. Okay?
Yep, Growing Connections, it's a senior, typically they would do this in the senior building, youth building, but they're actually planting, using potting soil, so it's, they're just outside in the pavilion, so.
Do we wanna find out what we do, or?
I would do that.
If you could do
I
all
guess
of
the
them,
only, I guess the only one really that I have an issue with is the rodeo one.
Okay, so, let's see.
but then the Dweebs is requesting an alcohol waiver, so if you
Okay,
could-
so can we-
everything
Can we do
before,
everything before that, we send that way to the law, who is requesting that way
the Dweebs. Dweebs is a band,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so they'll be selling alcohol at that one,
So everything forward, go.
yes.
Yes.
Everything forward of that.
That's fine by me.
Okay.
I don't know anybody else.
We need a motion to approve the,
Growing Connections of Dairy Days, Cheryl Bertina, Andrea Kay, Horse Project, and Tractor Safety.
And the
That is, I'm sorry, that is tractor
That's
safety.
tractor safety.
Yeah, yeah, that weekend.
And then the fire department, you got.
That's a fundraiser.
Oh,
They went out though.
oh, okay. Oh, that's congratulations.
Want to drink to the
June
dweebs.
13th, the June 13th, 17th, 20, that's graduation?
I don't know what it is.
That's grad party.
Oh, okay, well then it's graduation
So
party.
that's the same day as the dairy, or same?
Yes,
day?
but it's only 6 picnic tables, and we have plenty of picnic tables, so.
Just checking.
Yep, yep.
So, so I'm clear on this, so this one is not happening. Right?
That isn't when we're going to approve the rest of them.
Right, trying to approve it.
All right, yeah.
Pardon?
This is for,
Oh,
From here this way.
oh, from this, okay,
Yeah.
alright, sorry. Okay. I'm on,
I like we can do them all
We can
individually.
start.
no, no, let's do it.
You're the motion. Connie read them off, correct? Yes, I would,
I would move then that we approve,
Rusk County Dairy Days, Cheryl Kina, Andrew K, Horse Project Insurance.
that's your motion.
yes.
I'll second that.
Motion by Tom, second by Mike, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Then the contracts are approved. Okay, so now, that brings us to the weeds. Correct. Right?
Yes, yep, yep, and Wayne is,
Not paying attention.
oh, there he is, Wayne's here.
Sure, why not, everybody else is going.
It's the hot seat.
Well, you don't swing.
Hi Wayne, Michael, how are you?
Alright, throw us your spiel.
It's pretty cut and dry. Weeds are a band and they are gonna come to town, raise money for the fire department. Sons of Van Vets are gonna help out, serve a meal. Lions Club will use their booth and they'll be serving the beverages. We will raise all the funds necessary to pay for the whole thing ahead of time, and then will be 100% fundraiser for the fire department. We were thinking that we'd kinda like to perhaps reserve the multi-use building with the hopes that if it wasn't necessary, that you'd give us the money back, but I'm not even sure that we need to save it, quite honestly.
We were thinking for rain or something.
Yeah, but you know,
It should stop raining by then.
so I don't even know how necessary it is to reserve that, quite honestly.
So if you look at what he did here, the area that's going to be used, it ventures into the central area. There's the Lions booth, there's the pavilion, but the stage is out here. We really don't have a rate for that other than central area right now.
That pushes all the way out into that grass area, don't it?
And these rates were made very long ago, so it just says central area, it's the old football field area. That's really going back. But it's not like 50 feet from here to there or anything, it's not that specific, it's not a building, it's just an area, so, so like when you had a tent circus, that's kind of what that's for, or if somebody wanted to come in and do BMX racing or something like that and use that area. We've had snowmobile races, things like that, that's why that area was created. do we hardly ever reserve it, not really, unless somebody uses the whole fairgrounds. Dog show uses it, but they reserve the whole fairgrounds.
We're asking for the portable stage, okay?
Yes, and actually, where the portable stage is sitting right now, it would just need to be backed up a little bit. I wasn't quite sure the scale on that when I drew that map. So, it'll basically be centered right around the Lions Club booth, and maybe another 75 feet, including the stage to the north, you know, I mean, so, I don't know if that's more than that, or
It
what.
kinda mentioned to me though that that stage is not meant to be pushed around all the time, it's meant to just sit stationary, and I can't even believe it's still sitting around here. We were supposed to get rid of that. Who's covering the insurance on all this?
The Lions Club has the insurance and the license. License.
You have that on file?
I do, I have their insurance for their building and liquor liability, but does their insurance cover the event?
Right, that was my next question.
Dick Moore's working on that even as we speak.
So until we have that, not sure where to go with it, we should have all that placed.
When I send out confirmations, I usually say, the committee approved your usage, 30 days prior to the event, I need your insurance, 10 days before, I need the user fees.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't always get insurance before you guys see these things, so.
So, the question is if it rains, you prefer to be in the all places?
If it's pouring rain, I think what we should do for now is forget about the multi-purpose building. As things get closer, you're able to rent it out, and we have another event there going on at the same time. That'd probably be good for everybody. If we get closer and no one has reserved the multi-purpose building, then maybe we'd stick our name on it.
And then,
Fair enough.
and then maybe the 250 or whatever it is, you want the ratings on that?
What was that?
Was that right on that, the 250?
Currently, yes, yes.
This is where this gets really hard when I'm on radio, so you just got them talking about how we do everything over.
The question is, do you wanna charge them for the central area? Do you wanna charge them at all? Cause you don't really have a stage area, you don't have, a rate for the stage, you know, so it's kind of in a weird area. It's not one that we've really ever had to deal with before.
Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull you into this. The stage
Yeah,
is or is not a good thing to be pushing around.
no, you keep moving it around, it's gonna go to, you know what, faster than it already is.
So.
I mean, the talk was to move it.
My question would be is,
Where's it now?
are we looking at,
It's,
possibly like disrupting that stage more if we keep moving it?
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone knows it's, that the fair's building a new stage here in a month. We're not using that one anymore. The talk was to move it out of there. You can't just keep moving it back and forth, and we can't, if we move it out into that central area, then it's gotta get moved again because of basically, you know, fair activities or even the dog show that comes in, or at the circus, wherever they set up. I mean, there would be something that once it's set up, it's meant to stay. It's not like an old mobile home trailer. I mean, they're not meant to just get pulled and moved around all over. We had talked about putting it over towards the mud bog and using it for a platform there for our registration and stuff like that. Cause there has been talk, I don't know where that's at now, about doing more than just one mud bog a year. That would not be through the fair, but the fair would have their annual one, and then they talked about maybe doing some others, so.
Right, so.
And moving that thing it's a lot of work. I
That's
mean,
my
if you go
question.
look at it right now, it's all on blocks.
That's my
You gotta
question.
have it level and,
Is what is it gonna take to move this stage around, and how much of a process is it, and how much of a liability is it if we keep moving it around and it falling apart?
So when
yeah,
the month before, they had sent to property to get rid of the stage, so that's why we're talking stage so much. So, and actually, 2 months ago? Okay, alright.
Well, 2 months, 3 months, whatever.
We were at the, senior center, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that thing even safe?
I think it is for now, but again, if you keep moving it, it's not gonna, I don't know, it got moved last year, you know, for Mardi Gras, cause their stage collapsed, so it's kind of an emergency thing to let them, the Northland Community Club use it. I don't know what they use to move that, but it's not a small piece of machinery. It's not like you hook to it with your truck and towed it down the road. I don't think, maybe we did.
Well, it would definitely be a couple hours of, somebody's time maintenance. Terry Ducell always did it.
Okay.
You know, he would know exactly
So
what
it's a
it
couple
takes
more
to.
hours of maintenance time for our guys to move.
Yeah, but, I mean, you could do a stage in 2025.
It's more of a safety aspect than anything.
Well, that's why you put the blocks under it, and whoever's moving it levels it.
We would move it, we only need it moved about 30 feet from where it's at.
But then it's gotta come back 30 feet again. That's the stage and all.
It just takes a lot to move it there. Vic maybe has moved it before, I'm not sure. I know Terry always moved it for people when it needed moved.
Terry did a lot of things, just.
And the city has moved it, I think, for Mardi Gras, they've come in.
Or we could move it too, we got a tractor trailer across the street, so.
I guess, you know, if they wanna move it, relinquish Rusk County all liability issue of moving it and setting it back up, and we can wash our hands of it from a safety standpoint. I mean,
Safety and liability.
safety and liability, then it's on them, not me, or the county, I should say. Then after that, we need to figure out what to do with that stage.
I think whatever we do about this, it will set a precedent about using that area.
Oh, right,
Well,
I forgot about that. Good point there, Lois.
Maybe not if we're gonna change the rates after this year. See, put that in.
So clean
next
Well,
year.
okay, so where's,
Since there isn't anything going into this year as of now.
I think the stage is about like right here.
right, and where's,
He wants it moved back farther, cause it's, a lot of people are gonna come for the dweebs.
correct. And again, I'm not against our church or anything of this type, I'm just looking at safety on the stage part of it. The rest of it is, you know, I get it. So they wanna extend out that line. The question would be in the future, that we set precedents to allow this down the road. What you're saying, Lois? Yeah.
Or would you if you
Yeah.
totally redo the
We
rates
are.
for 2025?
Are we putting it over there this year?
For the mud box.
Yeah, we're moving it for the fair this year over towards Mudbog. So it's not just moving it 30 feet back. It's getting moved this year.
The stage.
The stage is
To the Mudbog
to the
area.
Mudbog area.
Permanently?
Well, I was gonna go there for, yeah,
I mean, we've been approved from property to move it out of there.
They move it out of there and get rid of it. I think.
Correct.
that was the two.
Thought
Correct.
that's what-
Cause we had offered it to, it got offered to the Northland Community Club and they didn't want it. So our next move was to get it out and move it to the Mudbog.
And there's not a problem, because we won't have it there then next year. And they won't have to move it back.
Right. And I didn't know that till just now, so.
When was it figure?
August.
7 through 11.
August what? When is it?
August 8th through the 11th.
August 8th.
Yeah, it's after, so.
I don't know what you're thinking on that extended out. What's your track on that? Are you fine with that? Anybody got any other questions or concerns?
And so they're requesting the alcohol waiver. So,
That there won't be a stage out there, is that correct? Is that what everybody is saying?
the stage will get moved over here, and then if you're going to approve them to use it, it'll have to get moved back.
We'll move it back.
So we're gonna move it by the mud bog.
Mm-hmm.
And then for your event, you're gonna move it to where you want it,
We can move it to where it's.
and then you're gonna move it back after your event,
Where do you want, what do you call back, where would you want?
Or it could just,
by the mud bog.
Or wherever.
Or if you wanna just take it
Wherever
and
Johnny
put
or.
it in your backyard or something.
Light it on fire.
Yeah, that too.
It's for the fire department, right?
that could be
Yeah, the
part of
training
the
exercise.
event.
Problem solved.
Seriously.
Perfect.
Pull it out in
Put
the
some
middle of the
fireworks
field,
in
set
it.
it on fire.
Pyrotechs on
We'll
it.
do that at 10 o'clock, as soon as the beat is done playing. we'll
There
light
you
it.
go. Problem
No
solved.
way.
Save everybody a heartache.
Perfect.
Okay, well, as long as all their insurance comes through and everything's good on that end.
And they're taking the multipurpose building off. And then any weirdness with that central area rate will be dealt with.
If foresee need it, yeah. Nice one.
And you can clean up the rest for, you change your rates and things for cleaning up. But yes, we need to approve the alcohol waiver, just whatever you decide in there. Is the band gonna be done at 10?
Yes.
I think it'll go later.
No.
Okay, so then you don't need the noise waiver or anything. It's 10.
Well, if they're serving wheels, that's 6. The band plays at 7 to 10. Didn't mean to cause so much consternation.
Well, you did.
A price tag on the central area.
There is, but it's not clearly defined what the central area is. So,
I was just wondering, I know Lois had brought up, Lois had nothing to do with the stage, it had to do with, was there a price on the
Should
central
we
area?
extend it out to one?
yes, there is a price on the central area, which is, $75.
Grandstand south.
Grandstand Central South area, it's $75, so.
Really, basically the Lions Club booth. What it is.
It is, but the electric for the stage isn't part of the Lions Club booth. So, I mean,
That far?
what was that?
These don't extend out that far.
No.
No, mm-mm.
So it's not part of the Lions Club.
No, the Lions has their own meter, so, yeah. I'm guessing it runs off of this or that, but,
The electrical hookup for all their stuff is just a plug-in? Is that what the box is out there? There you hook up.
I have not investigated that yet, but
There's a great big one.
There's one out in the middle.
It's huge. It's right
did see a power supply right next to where the stage is right now.
Right, that's why it's there.
Yeah, but you gotta have somewhere to access it.
They won't get it.
No.
It won't be a problem. We have plenty of guys.
You got an electrician on staff.
We have lots of shade tree mechanics.
Yeah, now you want to take that stage all the way out to the end of, you want to put it right there, right where she's.
Well, again, I don't know what the,
This is not to scale, this map.
I don't know what
I
the
know, but
scale
it's a
is.
hypothetical scale of saying you wanna be around somewhere in that area.
Basically, if they need to move it probably, I'm gonna guess 30 feet, roughly. Just to the north to create a little bit bigger area. You can't go sideways because that fence is there.
Can't go the other way, cause there's a road.
There'll be no place to go.
How far is that transformer box from the stage, Johnny, you think?
Right now, the one that's kinda on the pole there,
The one
or
that's.
to the left?
The one that's right to the left of the.
That's a long ways away, actually. That one's out on the road. So that's one, like, I think Darren Duncan, when he sets up for the fair, just 'cause that's what I know is where he has his stuff. The stage, I believe, is plugged in, there's a pole and it's parked right up next to it right now.
And that's not on this map. This is-
No, it's not on the map,
Right, so. if
but
you
that
moved-
power comes from that panel.
If you moved it 30 feet to the north, where's gonna be the closest?
Your closest power is gonna be the pole that is right next to it right now, so you're gonna have to run a cord from there out.
Somebody gonna do parking?
Yes, fire department, they're gonna park.
They're gonna park.
We got security. All lights.
And fire extinguishers.
Fire trucks.
Yeah, fire trucks. Just in case.
If it gets too rowdy, they'll break out the fire hose.
So it's the question based on the fact that charge for the extended part of that land out there.
If you're gonna charge, it'd be $75 at your current rates, and that's,
As a flyer. Frequent flyer. Yeah, it's gonna be like $75. Based off of 30 feet. So. I don't, what do you guys gonna do?
I don't have a problem with it. Fun. Have fun.
was that a motion, and then did it
Sure.
include
I don't
the
think
alcohol
that was a
waiver?
motion.
No, I
But
didn't sound like
are you
it.
asking for a motion to approve?
The alcohol waiver excluding the multi-purpose, right?
Correct. Excluding the multi-purpose. The question was, that I had already asked before that was, were we just gonna waive like the $75 for that parcel to the north? Well, that's what it said. You allow this, it's improvement, so what do extra land for nothing?
Well, it's a nonprofit.
So,
Right.
but I just wanna have everybody else be knowing that, so that way everybody makes the decision whether it's yes or no. We're all agreed.
You wanna include in there to exclude, the waiver of 75, is that what you're saying?
Not precedent and, or, I don't know, setting or something. I think you're gonna clean it up as
There's a
fun.
lot of stuff
I
going
have-
on here.
I have a
one-time
question, isn't that whole area?
It's just a big area.
With the grandstand included, isn't that all just written in there as one?
No, that, I should probably use commas rather than slashes, but those are, it's,
Three different
there are
things.
3 different things, yeah.
So potentially.
Yeah. So if they use the grandstand or
25.
central or south, it's 75.
Okay.
Another thing to fix for next year.
Okay, just, I mean, to me, it was like, what have we been talking about, it's all one thing.
You know, this is one so difficult.
Oh my god.
What's our
Okay.
deadline?
Well, adjustment, one deal, set a precedent, because there won't be one.
Right, correct.
So however you wanna say it, it's up to you.
So, I might just say it.
To approve a Wayne Stoll usage agreement excluding the multi-purpose building with the alcohol waiver and at no charge. Or no,
Can I make one suggestion? Say the Lions Club, they're the ones with the insurance, they're the ones with the liability and the license.
Because see, we can't play this game, we're changing the rules.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, I just wanted, I'll trying to help you clean it up.
That's, you gotta stay with what you got here.
Alright.
Okay, that's fine.
So,
Okay, so basically what you're saying is we extend that area out and let them use it with a waiver on the alcohol.
no worry, she's right.
Okay.
no rate charge for nonprofit.
There's no clear rate for that area.
What was gonna be the charge, just $75?
It's the fire department.
It would be if you decided to charge, that would be the only rate that's near that area.
So, yeah, that,
So that's
That's
something,
like with no rate charge for the grounds.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Okay, I mean, it's for the fire department,
Yeah, I'll second that.
okay, whatever,
Whatever
Yeah.
she said.
I have a motion, I have a motion
in a second.
Mike, a second by Sherry, what's the read back on this one?
I don't know. Well, I was looking at Wayne's suggestion. So it's a fundraiser for the fire department, I can put that, you want me to put that in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright,
so, and look,
For Ladysmith Fire Department, exactly what it says.
if you're worried about precedent setting, you're just kind of making another one by putting that in there.
You know, but.
okay.
Then it-
What do you want us to put in there?
Well, I'm not gonna do
What
it
do
for
you want to put in there,
usage.
that, nothing?
It's Wayne's
You,
putting.
you should do it that there's really no set rate for that area. That makes it cleaner. There's no designated rate for usage.
That's what I said, that no rate charge for the grounds.
Okay. That sounds like you're giving it to them free.
They
Which is
are,
precedent.
are you
You
not?
are, but if you're worried about precedent setting, you should say, with no charge, to do no rate designated for that area.
That area defines it, it doesn't.
Jerry, doesn't know more of that.
Designated rate for the area.
Yeah, no designated rate for that area.
That's not saying you're giving the whole fair.
It's gonna make my hair grow back.
I can see follicles coming up.
Oh, yeah, you see it once in a while. Jake with babies on it.
Okay, motion by Russell, second by Wallace to approve Wayne's Stoll usage agreement excluding the multi-purpose building with the alcohol waiver with no designated rate for the area.
There we go.
Good to go? All in favor, say it.
One comment, please.
Need money in the water.
Well, I tend to agree with Mr. Stoll that you should say Lions Club, because if you look at the minutes from last month, you approved for the organization, not the contact person.
Wayne Stoll is just the contact person.
Exactly.
The organization,
You should say Fire Club. I think you should, because last month you approved for the LHS alum and the Rusk County Chamber. Those aren't people, those are the organizations.
She did. Ladysmith Fire Department.
So you're gonna put Ladysmith Fire Department, Lions Club, and Sons of Amvet?
Whoever
Because
Wayne says is the
The
primary
organization
organizer.
name
Lions
are
Club.
the three of them, so,
Right, but you're saying the Lions Club one says three.
yeah, there's three there.
Ladysmith Fire Department and.
Is it a Lions Club event to benefit the fire department?
Yes.
Say what?
What's that?
The Lions Club event to benefit.
Are you part of the Lions?
No, just say Lions Club.
he's just the contact person.
I'm just
Right.
the sucker.
Yeah, they all knew what was gonna happen.
Okay, my bad.
Ryan's mom.
AMVets.
So then where do the AMVets come in then?
They're in the food.
They're doing, yeah, he said they're doing it. Okay, my bad, I admit it.
Just trying to keep us consistent. Just trying to keep us consistent.
I didn't, I guess we didn't post up on our last meeting.
It's on the first or second page of the minutes.
Lions Club, Sons of Ambets, and Lady Smith Fire Department.
Yes.
Great.
Can't wait till you go have a beer.
Okay.
Alright, so what do you got?
All in favor, say aye.
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 All the same sign. Carries.
Thank you very much. For your time. No problem.
Sorry for the long wait.
Alright.
Okay.
Just trying to keep us consistent.
We still have one more to do.
Yeah, we did.
Yelling at the back of your head.
Okay, next one on the list is
The Extreme Country
okay.
Barrels and Bandits event. Joanna Williams, taking place on, event date 7/26/25, 7/25 to 7/26/25, 7/27/25. So what are the aims?
Well, according to this, really, I don't see anything. Okay, so this is your email. Hello, please find our rental application for 2025, expecting an answer within the next 15 days. So that's all I have. Plus this.
Okay, so he's looking to have a rodeo obviously next July.
Yes.
At the end of the month.
Two weeks before our fair,
Which could be.
which has a rodeo.
Which could be very detrimental.
So that's the problem that myself personally have with this. I guess I don't have a problem with them coming here, but I don't believe that their date is a good date. Because I think it will take away from the rodeo that we have at the fair. I don't know if, if people go to this, we have the fair at the rodeo, they're gonna say, oh, it's just at a rodeo, why am I gonna go to another one, So, I mean, I have no problem with them coming here and running the fairgrounds, but I think, they should look at a different date, like possibly sometime in September or October, after we have our fair and our rodeo. That's my feeling.
You could request, more information, cause technically, unless I'm missing it, I don't see anything checked.
I don't either, it's pretty vague.
And if there's gonna be a band, I mean, they're gonna want the grandstands, they're gonna want probably the rodeo arena, they're gonna want equipment usage.
They probably
We've
want an
dealt
alcohol
with this group
waiver.
before, and it's, you wanna make sure that, they ask for everything up front.
At this point in time, there's not enough information to go on.
But nothing is checked, so. I mean, we can make an assumption, but are they requesting the whole grounds? Well, then that should have been.
Probably where that's gonna go. You got a place to put the horses, the bulls, trailers, all kinds of trailers.
Typically that goes, they kinda like their own
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all in the the central area.
Oh, that ground's getting a lot of use today.
Someday, Runstrom's gonna make me a new map.
Square foot charge.
There you go. Square foot charge.
There was no waiver requests with this either, so,
There's not enough information here on this contract, so I don't know what you guys want. Send it back over.
I think we should send it back for more information and also for them to consider a different date.
do you want,
Is that a motion?
That is my motion, yes.
I have a motion by Mr. Kudo, a second by Mr. Russell.
I would like that to specifically state, I think, that, we prefer to have a date sometime in September or October. If they wanna have.
and I would love it if the county board chair, or this committee chair would have a conversation, do some more info, or maybe Ashley,
With the requester?
yes,
I'm not choosing to do that.
or have a, have a meeting with them outside of committee. I mean, look at the last usage agreement, took a long time, this one's going to take a long time. But there's so much more to think about than just a building with this request. They're not even requesting a building. What do they really want? This,
So we're gonna send it back to them, and if they send us back something requesting exactly what they want, then we might have a better idea. of what
okay,
the
so
answer
they
is.
meaning me, I'm going to send it back to
No,
them?
Well, who's gonna send it back then? I mean, you want me to send it back?
I want somebody other than me to have a conversation with them.
Fine, I don't care, I'll have the damn conversation.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to have a conversation with somebody, I don't care, I don't know who these people are, whatever the case may be. So if that's the way it needs to be, I'll do it, I don't care. I don't know what you're saying here, other than, like this, she's gonna what, intimidate
I wear
me?
many hats, and, I don't think I should be the person, because I'm associated with the fair, I'm associated with the fairgrounds,
Okay.
I'm associated with a
Now
whole
you're
lot.
making better sense.
Yes, and they're gonna see me with the one hat on and not the other hat, so,
I get
I
you.
guess that's a better way of saying it.
I get you, I understand much better now.
Okay.
I will join you as well, however, the companies and the fair board too, so.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Is that kind of following the lines of it?
Okay.
I'd be happy to sit down with you then.
Okay, so did we put that kind of in that motion, Connie, that I or Tom will meet with Joanna Williams to discuss further detail of this?
No, because you didn't say that.
I didn't see that in the motion.
Well, we haven't approved it yet anyways.
Okay.
I think essentially then,
Okay, so,
I make a motion then that we deny this request. And essentially that's it. And then,
okay, hold on a minute.
then you and I will contact this Joanna and discuss it.
Motion already on the floor, first and seconded.
Yes, to,
And another one on the floor, we can't do that. So he has to rescind that, correct?
You can rescind or you can amend.
Then leave it as the original motion.
send the agreement request to the extreme of the band to change the date to September 4th and what variance and buildings they are requesting. I can put in there to have you two talk with them.
Can't we, as a committee, can we not just decide that we will contact her and discuss this with
Right.
them without it being a motion?
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it that way. Okay, so we'll just leave the motion the way it is. First by Mr. Cruz, second by Mr. Russell.
Aye.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
places. Yeah, but I'm not sure that. There's something here that. Oh, no, okay, so I guess I was looking at this, because I thought, okay, toner is expensive. Cause we have $645 for wireless mouse and toner, but I know toner is expensive, so. This is for circuit court. And then we have a duster and Kleenex tissue for $59.25.
I mean, I can attempt to pull that up, but,
It's here, on circuit court, so it's the circuit court one. It's like, it says Quill over on the far left
Okay,
hand
so
side.
when you buy like Kleenex, you buy it in a case? That's how it comes.
that's how the courthouse buys.
That's how you buy stuff.
Okay, then, okay,
That would
I get
be-
that,
That would be reasonable for that amount,
alright.
only because I know this is what I do. That would be a reasonable amount. And
Fair
what's the other thing?
Yeah, that most, the toner, I know toner is not cheap,
Is that on the same?
But it shouldn't be
But it's-
$600 unless it's a plotter.
Which
but
way?
a wireless mouse, it probably, I mean, $20 max, if that. It's the same page, circuit court. So, I mean, so we're talking like, I mean, unless they bought toners for two different machines, I don't know.
So I know this is always at the end of the agenda, but if you see these things, when they're here, that's when you should probably bring them up, because I can't pull up their bills
Okay.
unless they've already been processed.
Alright, I should have.
And they're not processed because they're on that report, so I can't see it. I can see mine, the ones I enter, but not theirs.
So we can ask Connie, do you write toner for your machines?
No,
It's a whole different.
it's, they're a rental,
It's all E.O. Johnson.
Johnson, and it automatically tells them when we need, and they just send it to us, so we don't, I mean, that's part of the contract.
Yeah.
I believe.
I know for our town hall, when they order toner, it's like $500.
So,
For color print, that's all.
Now, if it's a laser color, that would make sense. Cause there's like 4 or 5 different colors you have to get. But I don't know what kind of printer they have. They must have their, well, okay, so if it's circuit court, they're not on the E.O. Johnson contract because, so, yeah, they're their own entity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily like questioning it that way, it just stuck out, you know.
Yeah, yep. Next month, I could pull that bill up and look at it,
I
but
motion we approve the bills.
Motion by Mr. Creel, second by Mike, to approve the bills, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Here's a question. Do we have to do the bills at the end of this?
no, you should be talking about, I mean, if you look at what's written on each one, monthly report, current year budget, and out-of-county travel. I mean, you guys talk about the out-of-county travel and get their report, but you never talk about their budget. Sometimes, like Crystal, she'll our budget's okay, sometimes they'll mention it, but that's when you should be quizzing them on their bills.
Right, so,
You wanna change it?
I could probably put the bills, I get an approval of their bills for each one of them if you'd like me to.
Pardon?
That would.
Do what?
I could put approval of their bills while they're here, if you'd like me to, as part of their report. And then you're not approving multiple ones if you can, that's what you choose.
Well, and I agree with Tom, or I think you said it, Charlie, it's hard to, you can look through these bills, but we don't get through to the end of
Right,
the
so,
meeting, and then of course, everybody's gone.
yep, so doing what Connie says makes sense.
Not a problem.
Oh, just add that under the numbers,
Yeah,
right?
If you do their, out of county travel, just do approval of bills.
And then you guys can. You'll know.
So. July 3rd.
Didn't do it, no.
Fourth of July is the next day.
Yeah.
That is a holiday.
Won't be anybody working.
So that's not okay. That is probably not okay.
It probably is not. I agree.
The Fourth of July.
We're open the 3rd, right?
But I anticipate a lot of staff might be on vacation.
What's that, you're breaking up behind me, I can't hear you.
I would think so too, I agree.
That isn't a good day.
Oh, you are just gonna burn.
Friday's not a good day either.
No, Friday would be worse.
More staff's gonna be gone on the Friday than
Yeah,
Wednesday.
everybody will be gone on Friday. In fact, if anybody's got any comp time or any kind of time, they're gonna be gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday's a half day anyway, they're not gonna show up.
Don't we conflict with somebody if we move it a week? Is it?
The second Wednesday, I mean, have the second Wednesday.
I think emergency services is in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah, we're at the 8 o'clock.
okay. We used to conflict with forestry, but then they moved, didn't they, or something?
Yeah, they moved to the 3rd Wednesday.
Okay.
And now I think they moved to Tuesdays.
So we could-
She's got me easier.
If that doesn't mean the world's gonna stop, you guys can carry on.
Right.
Well, I don't discount yourself.
Well, I'm serious. Life moves on, but there are other things.
So are we saying that the 3rd is, nobody's gonna be here?
No, you're gonna have 2 minutes.
I'm sorry? You're not gonna be here.
I'm just saying, if I'm not here, you know what, sometimes it's nice to have a little time.
The 10th, you're not gonna be here?
Oh, so you want like a 6-day?
So even personnel, cause personnel's gotta be moved as well, because it's on July 4th. It's all,
Yeah, that's gotta be moved.
Okay, we're talking about the 10th.
I get that.
Is there anything on that day that's scheduled in this room?
No. At 3 o'clock?
Yes.
No.
Is there anything scheduled in the morning? Just,
Yes, emergency services.
First one?
So we should be able to have it at 3.
Yes.
The 10th work with everybody?
Yeah, both case.
Except for,
She said go ahead with her.
The 10th, 3 o'clock?
So none of us can miss then, or we won't have a quorum.
Hey, you can't call it the county board man, because he's already here.
Alright, is it settled on the 10th?
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
right.
I'm asking permission to move.
you read her stuff. To read your stuff.
Okay.
Most
We were supposed to.
Okay, so I deleted it off the calendar and added it on the 10th. You just did it now?
So,
I just did it. Oh, it's in there twice then.
people.
Oh, it is.
Second.
motion by Jerry and second by Mike to adjourn.
I was down
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, say aye.